Hello, and welcome to One More Chapter with me, Kay Alleena. Today we're going to be reviewing Mort by Robert Repino, which is right here. I just finished this book last night, and it is incredible. I think I picked it up at the end of January. I know, it takes a long time for me to read the books in college, but don't worry about it. We'll still review them. I think I picked it up at the end of January in a River's End bookstore. It was featured in their new release category, and at first I was like, well, one, the cover is amazing. I mean, really. Check out this artwork. It's awesome. The cover's amazing. The premise is a little strange, but I picked it up thinking it was going to be funny. Here's the spoiler. It's not funny. It is not a funny book, but it's really good. The premise behind it is that the Earth is being taken over by ants. Giant ancient queen ant with all of her minions are taking over the world and destroying the humans, and she was able to make the animals like sentient. They're able to think and do for themselves and talk and use guns, and it's crazy. So there's the unnamed war between the ants and the humans and the animals. So we follow the story of Mort from when he was a house cat to when he was a war hero. And I know it does sound funny, but it's really not. The book is incredible. If you were thinking about picking it up just based on the fact that it was like dystopian and sci-fi, maybe a little strange, do it. Read it with an open mind, especially if you're not really one for allegory. That's important. This is a sci-fi book, all right? The animals are taking over the world, the ants are taking over the world, but who's gonna win? I wanted to just read it instead of doing all of my homework. It flew by so fast for me in the times that I was allowed to read. So like 20 minutes here or there, once a week. It was bad. But I got it, and I got through this book, and the prose is amazing. So we switch perspective every once in a while between Mort and other members of his army unit and the queen. And now the queen is the most interesting character out of all of them. I couldn't wait to start reading more of her story. She's this like million-year-old aunt, maybe not million, but you know what I mean, who has memory of literally everything that has happened in the world because she can sense and record all this information through chemical signals. And it's because of all this information, all the harm that we as humans have done to her Earth and to her people, that she begins this war to exterminate humans. The premise is really thought-provoking. Like, when I read this book, I think, okay, so what are we really doing? How are we affecting the planet around us? And then when we get into the story of Mort, we see that maybe hatred is not the best answer. Maybe war is not the best answer. So it's another way to look at the world that we live in now, that maybe things can be solved by believing in something other than violence. It's a good kind of direction to think about like how we're treating the earth and how we're living as humans and animals all together in this world. And to me it was super interesting. For the most part, it's like gruesome and weird, okay? So this book is gruesome and weird, but I mean, if you're the right kind of crazy, you're really going to enjoy it. I think this was Robert Repino's first novel. And here it is again. I just want to note on the prose a little bit, like, he's a great storyteller. The book is broken up into different sections. Each section has different artworks that kind of depict what's going to happen or point in the direction of what's going to happen in that section. I don't want to give away too much. Like, you really have to pick this one up. It's a little bit too insane to even explain in a video. You have to pick this book up yourself. I'm so happy that I got to read it, and I'm so happy that at the beginning of spring break for me, I was able to finish this book. I think if you were kind of on the fence about it, definitely get it. It's a great book. It's just well written. The story's fantastic, and I don't know what it's been lately. I've been into reading dystopian novels, and I usually read fantasy books, but these are like freaking great. I guess if you were kind of on the fence, definitely give the book. Give it a chance, because I mean, it's great. It's so great. And maybe the end will start to get you to think about your place in this world just a little bit more. I mean, it did for me. I didn't have the book hangover that I normally have with dystopian books, and I was able to recover pretty quickly from that syndrome where everything just seems so unreal. Is this a dream type thing? I was able to recover from that, but it's still, like, I'm still thinking about the end of this book. It's great. It's great. You have to get it. That being said, again, it's not funny. I picked it up because I thought, oh, it would be satirical. It's not satirical. And if the idea of bugs bugs you, don't pick it up, because the ants are a really big central focus in this book, and how they destroy humans is pretty focused and detailed. If that freaks you out, just don't. But if you're up for a really good story and a different perspective on life itself, then definitely pick this book up. I was really excited to read it. So yeah, that's my review. This is the video. I hope you liked it, and if you want to hear more of my ramblings, just hit the subscribe button and I'll be back next week. Thanks.